Good day folks, Sean here from Air Photography. So today Insta360 has launched their next generation 360 camera, simply called the X5. Now, in my opinion, I think this is one of the more substantial jumps we've had from generation to generation, not only with the hardware and the capabilities of the camera, but the ease of use and how you export your content has been completely redone. The days of complicated reframing and deep tracking, trying to make sure you're centered in the frame, is over. That's going to save you a lot of time when it comes to reframing and exporting your footage, which is going to make a lot of creators very happy. So in this video, we're going to go over all the new features and we're going to demonstrate it and show some samples of what this camera is now capable of. But before we get into that, let's go over some of the new hardware changes because the hardware changes are actually pretty significant. First off, the lenses got an upgrade this year. They are more durable, less susceptible to scratches and chips. Insta360 is saying they are 100% more durable when it comes to drop damage. But the biggest upgrade to these lenses is that they are now user replaceable. In the event that something happens and those lenses get damaged, you can now order these replacement lens kits and easily change them out yourself. That's going to save a lot of downtime. You no longer have to send it in to be repaired. Everything you need to replace the lenses comes in this kit, and the procedure is actually fairly easy. Now, during the testing of the camera, testing out the lens replacement, I actually purposely damaged one of the lenses, and I was quite shocked at just how durable those lenses are now. I had to hit it quite a bit with a hammer just to get it to crack. That lens is actually pretty durable. Swapping the lens out is actually very easy. They give you all the tools needed. They give you a tool to unlock it, another tool to pop the lens out. They also give you a small brush and an air tool to get rid of any debris that might have gotten inside. Then they give you some cleaning wipes and a dry cloth to make sure everything is nice and clean before you put it back in. And then of course you get the replacement lens. The replacement's actually extremely easy to do. It's something you can do in just a few minutes. And for a lot of people, it's going to be a game changer because now if you happen to damage the lens, if something unfortunate happens, you no longer have to send the camera away to be repaired. You're not going to be down for a couple weeks while it's off being repaired. If you're out filming and you happen to damage the lens, this is theoretically something you can do out in the field. If you're on vacation with your camera, you can bring a spare lens kit with you. So between the new, more durable lenses and the ability to change it out if something does happen, it really is a great new feature. We also get an image quality boost with the X5 in a couple different aspects. The Insta360 now features a triple AI chipset, which is going to allow for increased image processing and enable some of the new features that this camera is capable of that we will be taking a look at here shortly. On top of that, the X5 has a larger sensor. It is now equipped with a 1/1.28 inch sensor compared to a 1/2 inch sensor of the X4. So the sensor size is now 144% larger. Between the new triple AI chipset, the larger sensor, that's going to translate into overall better footage, especially when it comes to low light. The X5 now features PureVideo, which we've seen on some of the other Insta360 cameras. That's going to allow you to film in extremely dimly lit environments and still have nicely exposed footage. And the video quality actually looks really good, even in really complex conditions. So now I'm just going to show you some comparisons, some low light comparisons of the X4 against the X5. The differences are actually quite dramatic. So this first video here was shot on the X4, and as you can see, it's really grainy. There's a lot of noise in the image and it's very dark. It's not exposed very well. This was filmed in 360, and as you can see, it just does not look very good. On the other hand, if we look at footage from the X5 using PureVideo, you can see it's a night and day difference. It's not perfect, but for the most part, it is definitely usable footage. It's nicely exposed. There's a lot of detail. So for a lot of people, this is going to be a huge improvement when you need to capture in low light scenarios. Another nice upgrade that we have this year is that it now supports magnetic mounting. We still have the quarter 20 there in the middle, but we have the additional mounts there to be compatible with magnetic mounting. And it is completely compatible with the magnetic mounts from the Ace Pro series. So if you've invested in these mounts, they are fully compatible with your X5. So that's going to make this a lot more convenient to move from mount to mount, especially if you are using it like a more traditional action camera. You're filming in single lens mode. You might want to move this from a chest mount to a handlebar mount to an extension pole. You can do that very quickly and easily now. The battery gets a pretty significant update this year. It is now a larger battery, a larger capacity battery at 2400 milliamp hours. It's now rated for 185 minutes of record time. That's 37% more record time than the X4. But one of the biggest upgrades to the battery now is that it supports quick charging. That means you can have this battery from 0% all the way up to 80% in about 20 minutes. We also now have a built-in wind guard right there on the front. That's going to significantly get rid of wind noise in certain scenarios. If you've got this mounted on a motorcycle, an e-bike, a mountain bike, that new built-in wind guard is going to significantly get rid of unwanted wind noise. I'll just show you a quick example of that here. So now I have the wind noise reduction on. I have it set to strong. You can have it set to weak or strong, so whatever suits the scenario. But this is an audio sample of audio on an e-bike with wind noise reduction set to strong. So what does it sound like? Is this audio going to be usable? The X5 is fully compatible with USB-C microphones. You can plug them directly into the side of the camera. On top of that, the X5 supports Bluetooth audio, meaning you can connect your DJI Mic 2 or Mic Mini directly to the camera via Bluetooth. A new feature that has been introduced with the X5 is the ability to initiate a capture by double twisting it while it's connected to an extension pole. You can twist it back and forth quickly, and that's going to allow it to start capturing, and then again another double twist, and that will stop capturing. That's really convenient, especially when this is mounted out in front of you on an extension pole. You can easily start and stop recording. Of course, the X5 fully supports hand gestures, and it fully supports voice control. So those are the main hardware updates of the Insta360 X5. Of course, there are several minor tweaks to increase the user experience, such as a new charging graphic. When you plug it in, it's going to give you a percentage. Makes it a little bit easier to determine how much longer it's going to take to charge your camera. It's better at heat dissipation. The thermals have been improved, so that's going to make it run a little cooler. The settings page has been newly designed to make it a little bit more convenient to access settings that you use on a regular basis. And there's a new endurance mode that you can enable in the settings if recording time is your priority. So as impressive as some of those new hardware updates are, the real impressive things in my opinion are the way we use the camera, the way we capture, and now the way we export. Now, as I mentioned earlier, if you've been capturing in spherical video, reframing your footage for export can be very daunting. It can be time consuming and frustrating, especially if you're a new user. They had tools built in to help, such as deep track and AI tracking, but they still were time consuming and they didn't always function exactly the way you wanted. But there are new ways to capture that alleviates that, and there's new ways to export. Now, of course, if you're a person who likes to do keyframing or use deep track, those features are still available, but the newly designed app has some pretty incredible export features that we will be taking a closer look at here coming up. But when it comes to capturing, one of the new features of the X5 is something called InstaFrame. Now, in the past, we had a mode called Me Mode, which is still there. Essentially, that allows you just to press record. It's going to keep you centered in the frame, and when you're done recording, you have a flat video that's instantly shareable. You don't have to reframe it. It's just already in a usable format. But now with InstaFrame, not only is it going to record a flat video, but it's also going to record a spherical video at the same time. So you don't have to choose between a flat video or a spherical video. You have a flat video when you're done, but you also have the spherical video that you can go and reframe and get a little bit creative with later on. And it's actually pretty impressive how it works. Of course, it's going to record a spherical video. It's going to be capturing all the way around you, but you can set a lot of parameters for the flat video that it's going to record. You can set the flat video as a fixed view, which allows you to choose from a front-facing view, a rear-facing view, a top view, or a bottom view. Or you can set it to do a selfie view, and that way you are always going to be centered in the frame. On top of that, there's settings in there that you can initiate a barrel roll or a 360 spin while you're recording. And a really nice feature is that InstaFrame is fully compatible with the mini remote that they offer. So while you're recording, you can change the angle of the flat video. If you're starting out filming a forward view and then you want to change it to a rear view, you can do that by using the remote. You can also initiate the barrel roll and 360 spin, all while using the remote. So to me, that's a really great feature because now you don't have to choose between a flat video or a 360 video. It's going to record both simultaneously. You'll have a flat video you can share instantly on social media or with your family and friends, but you also have that spherical video that you can edit later if you so choose. So I'm just going to show you quickly here the results of using the InstaFrame. It actually works quite well. For this video here, you can see I'm on my dirt bike. I've got the camera mounted out front of me, and I've recorded in 360, so we can move it around. We can reframe it manually, or we can use some of the auto reframing tools. But at the same time here, it also recorded a flat view. I had it set to selfie, that way I know it's always going to stay locked onto me. So it's really convenient because you don't have to choose between whether you're going to capture a spherical video that you reframe later or a flat video that's ready to go. In the InstaFrame mode, you have the best of both worlds. You've got a spherical video that you can get creative with later on, but you also have a flat video that you can share instantly, and it's completely ready to go. Now, another thing I'll just show you quickly while I have this open, another new feature they have built right into the app is something called Dwarp. It's just a button here at the side. We can turn Dwarp on, and as you can see, it gets a lot of that warping that's associated with 360 video. So if that's something that you didn't like in the past with 360, is that it had a lot of distortions. Now, it's not available in all the different perspectives. For example, if I go way out like that, you can see there's a lot of distortion. It's a nice wide field of view, but the Dwarp is not available when you're zoomed out that far. And of course, the Insta360 X5 fully supports single lens 4K mode. So in 4K mode, you can use it like a traditional action camera. You can record from the front lens or the rear lens. So they've created some really convenient ways to make use of the camera. You can record spherical video, single lens 4K, or the new InstaFrame where you're recording spherical and flat video at the same time. So it's an extremely flexible camera in the way in which you can capture. Now, for those of you who are curious about if there's any size increase or weight increase against the X4, here you can see we have them side by side, and they're pretty well identical when it comes to overall footprint. They're very similar. And when it comes to weight, we have 203 grams for the X4 and 199 grams for the X5. So it's actually a few grams lighter. Now, as I mentioned earlier on in this video, the way we export our 360 footage got a big upgrade as well. Now, for example, I'm going to bring up this spherical video that I captured. In the past, if we were doing an activity such as biking or hiking, and we wanted us centered in the frame, we had to go in and do a deep track. And that could take quite a bit of time, especially if it was a 10-minute video or a 15-minute video. Of course, they had AI tracking, and they had different options, but it was very time-consuming. Of course, you could always go in and manually keyframe, but again, that was very time-consuming. But now they have some very quick options for us. For example, this is a spherical video that I've shot, and we can tap on selfie view, and that's it. We can now just hit the export button. We don't have to do any tracking. We don't have to do any keyframing. It's going to keep locked onto us. If we prefer to do a front-facing view, again, we can do that as well. Now, of course, they still have all the tools in there. They have AI editing, which is going to do more of an AI edit. There's now Dwarp built into it to help get rid of that 360 distortion. A lot of powerful new features built right into the app. The gallery got a big update as well, making it easier to find your content and also easier to identify your content. In the past, if you were filming in spherical mode, depending on how the camera was positioned, you might have a bunch of thumbnails in your gallery just pointing at nothing. It was really hard at a glance to see what it was or who was in the video. But now the software, if there's a human subject, it's always going to make sure that's in the thumbnail so you know exactly who's in it and what it is. Small little feature, but definitely an important one. The way you edit, export has been completely redone with the Insta360 app to work nicely with the X5, making everything easier and a little bit more streamlined. Now, I'm not going to get into all the features in this video. I'm going to make some separate videos going over the functionality of the app, some editing techniques. So if this is a camera that you are interested in, make sure you stay tuned for that. So that is the new Insta360 X5. If this is a camera you're interested in, make sure you stay tuned and are subscribed, as I will be covering it fully over the coming weeks and months. This was more of a first impressions, an introduction to the camera. Hopefully you enjoyed this video and found it had value. Thanks a lot for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.